Gather around as we delve into the 6 scariest true stories of Christmas December. These tales are not for the faint of heart. From chilling encounters in snowy forests to unexplained events on deserted trains, these stories will send shivers down your spine. So grab a blanket, dim the lights, and prepare to be disturbed. Deep in the heart of Colorado, nestled among towering pines, stood a secluded cabin. It seemed like the perfect place for a family to spend their Christmas. But this family's holiday peace was about to be shattered. One night, they noticed something unsettling outside the windows. Faint lights like flickering candles danced among the trees.
At first, we dismissed it as hunters, a common sight in the area, but these lights were different.
The next morning, they found footprints forming a perfect circle around the cabin, with no tracks leading to or from the woods. Imagine driving home late on a December night in Alaska. The wind howls outside, snow blurring your vision. That's when you see him, a lone figure standing in the middle of the road. He's not dressed for the weather, just a thin shirt and jeans.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
The figure turns, his eyes wide, a grin too cheerful for the situation. You pull up your window and drive away, the image of his grin seared into your mind. Weeks later, you hear a news report of another driver found frozen solid in his car, the same unsettling grin etched on his face. In a small Michigan town stood an ice rink, a place filled with laughter and joy. But this rink held a dark secret, a tragedy that silenced its cheerful melodies forever. It was December when a young girl met an untimely end on the ice. Years passed, the rink closed down, its laughter replaced by silence. Locals whispered that December awakened something sinister within the abandoned building. Some say the girl's spirit remains, forever bound to the place where her laughter was silenced. Imagine this. It's Christmas Eve, a night meant for warmth and family. But for a woman living alone in rural Vermont, this Christmas Eve took a sinister turn.
She was home alone when she heard it, the faint sound of voices singing Christmas carols, drifting in from outside.
Curiosity got the better of her, and she peeked through the curtains. The yard was empty, no carolers, no children. The voices grew louder, closer, as if the singers were right outside her window.
The next morning, I awoke to a sight that sent shivers down my spine. My front door was wide open, and leading into my house were footprints, clearly visible in the fresh snow.
The train rattled along the tracks, its rhythmic clatter the only sound in the mostly empty carriage. It was Christmas Eve, 1998, and a young woman sat alone.
As the train sped through the night, I noticed him. A man seated across from me, his gaze fixed intently upon me. He wore clothes that seemed out of place, old-fashioned. His eyes held a strange intensity, never blinking. As the train screeched to a halt at my station, the man leaned in, his voice a low whisper. "Don't get off yet," he warned. Moments later, a car crashed through the barrier, coming to rest on the very spot where I would have been standing.
It was supposed to be a Christmas vacation to remember, a chance for two friends to reconnect amidst the Appalachian Mountains. But their winter hike took a terrifying turn when a blizzard descended upon them.
Forced to set up camp, we huddled inside our tent, the wind howling around us. Around midnight, we were awakened by a strange sound. Heavy footsteps crunching through the snow, circling our tent.
The footsteps continued for what felt like an eternity, slow, deliberate. Then, as suddenly as they started, the footsteps stopped.
The next morning, we unzipped our tent and stepped out into the blinding snow. There, etched into the pristine white, were human-like footprints forming a circle around our campsite, ending abruptly.
These chilling tales remind us that even the most joyous season can have its dark moments. As you gather with loved ones this Christmas, remember that not all stories have happy endings. Stay safe, be mindful of the shadows, and have a hauntingly Merry Christmas.